Sometimes you go overboard. I mean, you bend over backwards. You know, people, and people will tell you, man, why are you doing all that? You don't understand our relationship. Literally. I mean, you understand what I'm saying when I say that? People might not understand why you do the things you do because they don't understand your relationship. You don't understand how much I love you. You don't understand. You really don't know my story. You don't know where I came from. You don't know where you rescued me from. You don't know what I see, what I think about myself because of, what God has come into my life and just changed my whole outlook on how I even see myself. That's a whole different, that's a perspective that a lot of times we don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about relationship. Yeah, it is what keeps, it literally is what keeps you going. Because that's, when we talk about getting to a place where we want to obey God because we love Him, not because we're afraid of Him. Now, having said that, obeying God sometimes seems difficult, but the reality is that God has put a label on things that are not good for you. And we struggle with things that are not good for us because we think we want them. The label He's put on those things is sin. That's what sin is. Sin is just a name for something that is not good for you. It looks good in the beginning, but where it ends up, if the Bible is the truth, the scripture says that at the end of sin is death. It can only end in one place. If it continues to the end, it's you die. Now sometimes that's not physical death. Sometimes it's a spiritual death. Sometimes it's a killing of your purpose. When now you're aimless in life and you're just kind of wandering around. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm confused. I just kind of wander aimlessly around. Not just like you walk around the street, but in your mind, you get lost in your head. And nobody even knows how lost you are because this is all in your head. And you're lost. That's when you start sleeping all day. You ain't never been a time in your life when you was just I don't want to see it, I don't want to know it. Well, okay, that's the same thing though. That's why people do that though, because you have to mask your look. You kind of trying to press down that it's gnawing at you, and it's really right. You don't want to feel nothing. Some people sleep, some people do drugs. Some people look for it in illicit relationships because you're trying to fill a hole. You're trying to stuff that hole, and it's eating at you. It does. It makes it makes another problem. Right. So you bring more. You got what? You got out. You've been watching too many commercials. Y'all crazy. Y'all are online. They're a little crazy. These are a little crazy. I don't know where that came from. What is it wrong with you all? I mean, there's a lot of, we do things to push, to press that, because you don't want to feel it. That's, and it literally, if you allow it to go to the conclusion, it will end up in some type of death. Something's going to die inside you. You're going to die. Somewhere it's going to die. The great thing about, about a loving God is that He's merciful. And He allows us another chance. Right. He allows us another opportunity. Because that's how concerned He is with being in communion with man with women, with children, with human beings. That's how concerned he is.
And like the bigger thing, a lot of, before now, like before I started really reading, I just looked at it as God was mad at me. Like, because we always make mistakes, so then you just feel like you're always mad. But I think it's like Psalm 139. Oh my God. Like, it started making me understand. Like, it was talking about the thoughts, how you think about you so much. Like, you think about me? Like, that really did something to me. Because I was like, you probably always mad at me. Because I'm always, like, all day at work, I'm just like, all day. I'm like, you probably just like, this girl's a law school. And when I read that, it was really special. Like, you find stuff that tells you that he's not just mad.
He's not
He's probably not even mad.
He's not mad all the time.
Yeah, he's probably not even mad. He probably just, because he different from us.
Yeah, he is. And the Bible tells us that God is not like man.
Sorry.
Watch that. It's a wrap for that. Yes. I mean, that's a prime example of what you're saying, because we perceive that God is always angry at us because we're always messing up. And the reality is, he's more in love with us than he is angry with us. If he wasn't in love with us, believe me, some of us would not be here.
None of us.
I'm just saying. Right. Isn't it true? Because all of us have been in a place where literally we deserve to just be wiped off the face. We don't deserve it.
In people's eyes.
Right. And that's
He's totally out. He's not like that. We don't think like that. We just think like, if you make me mad, you just that. I mean, he don't think like that.
Well, no, apparently. One of the things that you have to understand is God does have a plan for your life. He has a plan for you. And whenever there's a plan, you always know that there's a next stage. That's why it's important to have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you can think that where you're at is the end. But if you have a plan, you know there's another stage. There's another phase to this operation. And God has a plan for all of our life. That's why you know where you're at right now is not the end. There's another stage. There's another phase. There's literally, I know you guys have heard this word so many times. I don't even think people don't really understand. There is another level. God's taking you to the next level. All right, you gotta have to deal with this level first. Finish here.
He's gonna take you to another dimension.
Yeah, that too.
You gotta finish this one.
You're going to the third heaven.
You can't. Honestly, I mean, they used to, when we were younger, I don't think they do it too much now anymore. They used to call it, what is it, social, I forget the term they used for when they would pass you to the next grade.
Social promotion.
Yeah, social promotion. When they would pass you to the next grade, even though
Actually, it's still happening.
you couldn't read, you still couldn't read.
Wait, what?
It's still happening.
Who is this for?
It's still happening.
They will not be having my kid up. Keep that way. Teach them right.
But that's how you get out of high school and can't read.
And that's something like that I'm learning too, like with living right. Like one of my biggest things. So I didn't deal with nothing that I was like. I just skated and stuff because I was drinking. So I was always happy, and I partied a lot. So I was happy, drinking on the weekends, working all week, do it again. I never have time to think about nothing that's going on. So now that I have to like go to bed on my own, like go to sleep, I have trouble going to sleep and stuff. And the main thing that God was telling me is like, you gotta heal properly, man. You know what I mean? Like social promotion, you don't know how to read, but you finished the grade. I could have got some 30 on alcohol. So now I'm just like, alright, I gotta feel this. And it's crazy, but I know it's for the better.
It's for the better, and that's how you move. That's how you grow.
Yeah.
You can't grow in that state where you're not feeling it and you're not thinking about it. You cannot grow. Your growth is stunted. You literally, your life stops. You don't know it because you got rose-colored glasses on, or foggy glasses, or whatever, and your friends around you are in the same position. They're in the same state.
And they encourage you like,
And they realize that they're not growing. Literally, that's how you get to be 40 years old and still talk about when I have $2. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right?
and you look at those people like,
Right. You look at like 40, why are you riding a bike when you're 50 years old?
Yes.
Oh,
This is how it happens. You stop, you don't realize you stop, because you decided not to move, and you get caught in that whole stage, and how long does it take you to get out of it? Who knows? Something has to snap you out of it, till you realize, and by the time you do it, you've wasted 20 years. And in that 20 years, family, health, right? Health deteriorates, family relationship ties are severed and all messed up.
that's the death.
That's the death, correct. It doesn't have to be a physical death. There's a whole lot of things that can die because of sin. And that will die, literally, that will die because of sin. And so when you talk about, I'm obeying God because it's good for me, it's a selfish reason. I used to say that I teach my children how to tithe because it was selfish on my part. Because I want them to be out of my pocket as soon as possible. I know if I teach them how to give, they're going to get blessed.
So we were so mad at you, we was young, like, why did you take their money? Like, that was the big thing around here, like, what is that? Remember y'all, we was just so mad, like,
But I'm making money.
That's a sacrifice. But I believe the word. That's really what it boils down to. I understand. And that's what I can't say that. Because I believe the word. Right, exactly. Abraham Lincoln had a statement. He said, the older I got, the smarter my father got. When I was young, my father was stupid. As I got older, my father got smarter. He got smart. As he lived and understood. You can't worry about it. You really have to live according to Scripture. I know it's time for us to go. Questions, comments? Yes. Anything? Did we learn anything? Yeah. You learned anything tonight? No? Okay. That's good. Anybody else? No? All right, we'll do this.
I was trying to go on that book for it, like, what is that?
What? Oh, this book, you got stuck on that?
I was stuck, like, what in the world?
It's a book.
Well, she didn't,
It would say something different than the Bible. I don't
No.
know, my church don't do Sunday school, I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't go to Sunday school.
Okay.
So what-
Sunday school is like this, like what we're doing right now. Where we go into the Bible, we have a lesson, talks about we talk about different things, and we talk about it from biblical perspective, which is what the Bible says, and then we'll apply it to our life, what happens in our real life, just like what we're doing today. This is what we're doing Sunday school. Anybody else? Yes.
yeah, they pray about that Roman Catholic Christian Constitution.
Yeah, I think you guys will enjoy when we study law.
I'm excited.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, this is Paul when he's getting, this is actually the culmination of what God set him up for. A lot of the things that he went through to get to Rome, to go on trial, because they were persecuting him because he was blazing the trail. The devil was mad for him.
He's still working.
And nailed, right, for him. As he was establishing church, he'd go to an area, he'd go into the synagogue, because that's how they started. He would go into the synagogue, he would teach, people would hear him, he would set up, he would go somewhere else, people would follow him, literally street ministry, and he would set up a gathering of people in a house, start the church, establish and train leaders to help that church not, so like when he left, the church was still there, and he'd move on someplace else and do it all over again. And they, part of what he did was they would help him with money to live as he would teach. But there were times, because he had a skill and a trade, or was a tent maker. A tent maker. Was a tent maker, literally. That was his skill. That was his trade. Right. His father was a tent maker. That's how he was taught to make. Like Jesus was a carpenter. His father was a carpenter. Jesus had a job. He literally had a job.
That's a word.
Yeah, but listen, look at the disciples. When he chose the disciples, they were working.
That's a word in itself. All pastors need to have a job. Where you get.
Ooh, let me stop this.
You need a job.